So, hi everyone, and I'm Richard San El Kadisan, and today we're going to talk about some facts about the United States of America. And first, we're going to go to the official language of the United States of America. So, the United States of America has no official language. It's true. There's no official language of the United States at the federal level. The debate about whether or not to adopt an official language has been going on since at least the 750s. Still, the vast majority of people in the United States speak English, about 300 million people, which makes it the country's de facto in practice instead of in law, because an official language should be in law and not in practice. So is there a possible chance to make English an official language? Yes, of course there is. Because over half the states in the US have made English an official language. Although there are no laws stating that English is the official language at the federal level, 31 states have their own laws proclaiming it as the official language on the state level, which usually just means it has to be used for government communications. So, there are 3 states that have their own official languages, have other official languages, like Hawaii. They recognize their own Hawaiian Pidgin English as an official language in 2015. Since then, South Dakota made Syilx an official language, and Alaska added more than 20 indigenous languages. So before, on the World War, the other indigenous languages were not allowed to be spoken by the Americans or the people that are in the USA, because the British only want them to speak English. That's why they were forced to learn English, and if they speak their own language, they'll die. And Japanese schools were closed. Japanese schools were closed because they don't speak English, because other indigenous languages aren't allowed in before, by the time of the World War. So, speaking a foreign language in public was once illegal in parts of the US. So, as I've said, during the World War, when anti-German sentiment was high in the United States, parts of the Midwest made it a crime to speak German and other foreign languages in public. And there were several other periods when speaking a foreign language in the United States was considered dangerous, because it could maybe turn into a rebellion, because they don't understand what they're saying. That's why they only want them to speak English, because they don't want to start a rebellion. And today, the US remains a melting pot of languages. There may be no official language, but there are at least 350 different languages spoken in the United States. After English, top 5 in terms of native speakers are Spanish, Chinese, including Cantonese, Mandarin, and other varieties, French and French Creole, Tagalog, and Vietnamese. And this is likely to change after the 2020 census. So even among the native English speakers, there's a ton of variation in the language. There are at least 24 dialects of American English spoken in the United States, according to linguist Robert Delaney, who developed a map of the United States by regional dialect. Delaney writes that a dialect has its own grammar, vocabulary, syntax, and common expressions as well as pronunciation rules, which set it apart from an accent, which refers only to the way words are pronounced. And I guess that's all for the languages. So let's move on to the next one. So the next one is some facts about United States of America. So number one, this is the most interesting one. America is the home to many natural wonders. So the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, have recognized many heritage sites in America. According to UNESCO, a World Heritage Site is a place of special cultural or physical significance. Some examples of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in America are the Grand Canyon National Park, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, the Yellowstone National Park, and etc. And that's why it is considered as the home to many natural wonders. Number two, the US has the fourth longest river system in the world. The Missouri River is the longest river in North America. The river derives from Montana, located at the base of the Rocky Mountains, and flows for approximately 2,341 miles, or 3,767 kilometers, before it empties into the Mississippi River just north of St. Louis, Missouri. The Missouri River and the Mississippi River combined to create the fourth longest river system in the world. For thousands of years, many people have depended on the Missouri River, from drinking water to transportation, irrigation, flood control, and now even for the generation of hydroelectric power. So as you can see, this long river has played a very important role over the years. And number three, this one's my favorite. The US has the largest economy in the world. The United States has maintained its position of being the world's largest economy since 1871. The economy is so large that the US is often noted as an economic superpower, and this is due to the fact that it makes up almost a quarter of the global economy. The US economy is connected to the country's enormous population, technological innovation, high consumer spending, high average incomes, as well as a moderate unemployment rate. So, they have the largest economy in the world. That's why they really improve their technology well. So, the American flag had 27 versions. So the first American flag only displayed 13 stars, which means 13 cities. As the time goes by, it becomes many other ones, like for example 20, 21, 23, like that, and so on and so forth, until it became the 50-star flag, just like there, the one there. It's a 50-star flag with red stripes, and yeah. And the 50 stars, or the stars, just mean the states that's in the USA, the US, the United States of America. So that's the states in the US. That's what it means. So the next one is number 5. So US also is the home of some of the best musical artists of all time. For example, my favorite ones, Elvis Presley and Michael Jackson. They were the most popular ones before. They were the coolest ones, especially the dances like that. Yeah, like that. Like that. And there's one funny fact about United States of America, and it's really true because it's a city. It's a city named Boring, and it's in Oregon. When you hear the word boring, nothing exciting comes to mind. So you might be asking yourself who you ever want to reside in the city named Boring. So the city Boring is named after Boring because the name of its founder is William H. Boring, who farmed the land in 1870s. To make things more exciting, Boring and Oregon partnered with Dove, Scotland, and even declared August 9 as the annual Dull Boring Day. So I guess that was a pretty cool and funny fact. So many tourists really are interested in this one because it's boring. It's the city Boring, but I guess it's not boring. I've never saw it. But maybe it's going to be cool because the founder is William H. Boring. So I guess that's all for the facts of the United States and the facts for the official language of the United States of America. So thank you for listening.
Oki, Sanitapi, Nasto Makueki, and I hope you're doing good too. So today I will be talking about the USA's traditional clothes and their culture. So first let's talk about clothes, okay? So as you can see, I am adorned with a few feathery accessories and not to mention my red face paint on my face, of course. So this look is based on the Blackfoot tribe or the Siksika, one of the indigenous people of the USA. So now, as you can see it, yes, this is partially how their face looks with the face paint and the braided hair. And of course, the clothings, I had to improvise things, okay? So let's talk about their clothings. So as we all know, USA is a melting pot of, filled with diverse people from different races. So there's no generalization of what their clothes should be. So, but as what we know is that we commonly see them wearing the shirts, the pants, the jeans, and the skirts, like what people commonly are wearing nowadays. So yeah. But if there's the clothes that are very well known and usually used in United Nations, we have those two. The first one is the cowboy, the cowboy suit, the one with with a hat, and of course the gingham polo, the gingham checkered polo, and the second one is the European suit, those white long sleeves with sleeveless blazers inserted with them, accompanied by a necktie or so. So yeah, those two. But if we talk about the traditional clothes of the USA, we can see to it just like this pictures I'm about to show you. We have the Blackfoot, the Navajos, the Inuit, and the Somali. As you can see, these four, one of the most the examples of traditional clothes of the USA worn by their original inhabitants. These four. Yes. So now let's move on with their culture, since we're done with the traditional clothes. So USA's culture is mostly influence of Western origin, but this influence also includes Asian American, European American, Latin American, African American, and Native American people. So there's no specific culture for them, just like the traditional clothes, because they are full of influences since it's a melting pot. But what we do know is that they also love fashion, pageantries, celebrating Christmas, sports, anything that has competition involved in it, and to-go orders, ordering to-goes, since they're always busy and catching up their schedules as they have as well. So that is mostly what their culture is all about or filled with about. So that is all I have to say with the culture of USA as well. So katat ama say no.